Get the away from my car. You're caught. You're caught. You're caught. Talk to you about what?
He's my cousin. I didn't cheat.
Riri, you Dominican. He's a full-fledged black guy sitting in the living room with his boxers on. You're done. You're done. Please. Dude, stop hitting my car. Move. Go. Move. Get away from my car. Get the away from my car. Move. Go. Can you please go? Can you please go?
Open the door, bro.
Can you please go? Can you please go? You can't get your finger through there. You're on camera. I'm going to put this
Stop
on.
recording me.
No. Get away from my car.
What are you going to do with that? Take me to jail?
What you mean take you to jail? You cheating with a
Vamos a hablar, por favor. Let's just talk. Let's just fucking talk, please.
What is it talk about? What's there to talk about?
That he's my cousin. Open the door.
Yo, you look crazy.
Open the door.
No, get away from my car, yo. Like, you gotta go. You bugging. I can't get in.
Open the door.
Can you please get away?
Can we talk?
Riri, no, I gotta go to work.
Can we talk?
Okay, go ahead, talk.
Vamos a hablar.
Can we talk? Go ahead.
Put the window down.
No speech, none of that
Put
shit.
the window down.
No, I'm keeping it like this.
I can't see you.
Talk to me.
I can't see you.
Talk to me.
I can't see you.
I can see you.
Put the window down.
Yo, talk.
Baja la ventana.
Okay, who is he then? Who is he?
My cousin. Ya yo te dije, habla español, es mi primo.
Riri, you are Dominican. How is he your cousin? Dude blacker than me.
Can we just talk for a second?
No, we done.
What do you mean we're done?
The reason I'm recording is because you hit.
Then I will kill any ever way.
Yo. See, my mom told me not to talk to you. Mix, you tripping. Like, yo, I gotta go. Like, I gotta go. You like bugging.
Bruh, I'm gonna have to level with you. This bitch don't look right.
Them gal ya wicked, them wicked, them wicked. Them gal ya wicked, them wicked, them wicked. I don't know how them so wicked, why them so wicked, but I know so them gal ya wicked.
I saw this clip earlier, and it made me laugh my ass off. It made me laugh my ass off because, well, you know, I'm older and shit, and I've had some experiences and shit. All right, and this guy was, well, what, you know, skid or not. I just want to put the disclaimer out there. All right, skid or not, this guy had the right idea, right? And a lot of you should take this as a teachable moment and shit. Don't engage with cheating women and shit. Once you find them cheating and shit, you just, you know, you just give them the walking papers. I thought it's hilarious and shit, but he knew her nature. He knew her nature and shit, and even if this is not real, but I can tell you there's tons of examples out there. I've experienced it myself and shit. So one of the reasons I was laughing and decided to make this video and shit. I remember when I was younger, much younger, I had caught my shitty girlfriend in a direct lie, right? I don't remember what it was about. I don't think it was about cheating. It was about something. It was something she did. She probably was cheating on me, you know. But yeah, I caught her in a direct lie, and she had this same attitude as this woman, right? And I didn't have a car between us. I didn't have any kind of buffer. I couldn't get out of the way of the bitch. I was in an enclosed space, and I decided I was going to walk out of the house, out of her house, and she blocked my way. She blocked my way, and I'm starting laughing. I'm just human and shit, okay? I'm just human. I want to put some content out. I got to work later, you know? She blocked my way, and she sexually assaulted my She sexually assaulted me for no other reason than to make me shut up about it, and it succeeded in doing that. And the whole time she had this the most nuclear arresting bitch face. Just imagine an extremely attractive woman with the most toxic arresting bitch face that would make you want to put a weapon in her face, to draw your weapon and just put it point blank in her face. That's how bad the look on her face was. Like normally, just imagine she's super mad. Anyway, suffice it to say, the evil woman got what she wanted. I was young, okay? I was really young. She got what she wanted. We didn't talk about it anymore because I remember I read that it was a marathon of more of that sex stuff. until I was left lying and shit, mentally addled and shit, and she buried it. And I think like a couple of days after that, she knew she had got away with it. She was talking shit again. And I want to tell you guys this: no, it's not worth it. Okay, the woman in this video is very attractive and shit. Okay, she's an exotic woman, but she is a malignant narcissist and shit. And she wanted him to roll that window down so she could reach in and grab him. Okay, she wanted to get her hand on him. All right, and I guarantee you that if she had got her hand in that car, one of two things was going to happen. She was going to initiate some kind of a emotional outburst that would make him, have to physically detach her, where she could claim that he had assaulted her, or she was going to sexually assault his ass and shit until he changed his mind. And you heard in a video when he said that they were over, she was mad as hell, and she was saying, first thing that came to her mind, because she's a cheater, is that he would leave her for another woman. And she was saying, he bleeped it out, but she was saying she'll find and kill any woman that he's with and shit. And that's when he said the comment about his mother had told him about dating, women like her, which is a blessing. A lot of, the women, the older women in your families, my family, would never tell you anything. They just let you go out there blind and shit. They don't care about you. They don't protect you and shit. Even post-relationship, they would rather partner with a woman who tried to destroy you and even murder you than, adhere to blood, For a black man, there is no such thing as blood is sticking in water and shit. You were there until you outlive your uselessness, or you become a empty husk of a person and shit. I come on these platforms to tell you that, there's an alternative and shit. You can think about yourself. You can leave. You can get out of the system and shit. It's just social engineering and shit. They have no fucking power. This woman found out she had no power and shit when she was cheating on her boyfriend. And he happened to look at her and see her. And he, I think he was happy that she had cheated on him so he could have a good reason to get out of a relationship and not deal with her. Okay? Very attractive woman. In my younger days, I'd destroy her, sexually speaking. I'd take it a pound town and a half. All right? And I did find this woman attractive. All right? I'm an older guy in my 50s and shit. I'm not a dirty old man. All right? Totally not that. That could never be. Could never be. Look, save yourself, black man. Is simply that. Saving yourself and shit. Thinking about yourself first. It's not selfishness or whatnot. We're born into a system as black men in this supposed country, 3Ks and said, that tells us that we have no rights. We have no autonomy and shit. Okay? We're here to provide acts of service until we're not useful, and then we die. A lot of times we die in suspect ways and whatnot. A lot of insurance scams going on these days. It's a shame. I want you to keep your head on the swivel out there. Not care enough and shit. That's why I decided to put this video up. I had this clip for a long time and shit, but it popped up in my algorithm this morning, and I started watching it and laughing my ass off because it triggered that memory about me catching my girlfriend in a bold-faced lie, right? And then she had this attitude. She was like walking back and forth, like mad. This woman has the most incredible arresting bitch face when you would want to point a gun at her. You want to take her head off, right? Not saying that I did. I was a complete noob, back in the day. I can't call myself a simp in those days and shit because I was clueless. I was raised in a vacuum. I was sheltered going out. I didn't have any sense of autonomy or anything. It was acts of service was my love language. I didn't really do that with her because I didn't have nothing at the time. I thought that she really cared about me, but she was doing her own thing on the low and sometimes just blatantly and shit. And she didn't want to take her hands off of me and let me go about my business and shit. And that was the result of me. That was a flash of autonomy that I had and shit. I was like pissed off. I was like, okay, I'm the fuck out, man. I don't put up with this shit. Now girl's like, where do you think you going? Go. Yeah, you still talk some shit. And I got laid out. And then she was all smiling. I caught her smiling to herself. Because she did some evil shit. This guy knew better. He left this window up and shit. He had a buffer. Alright, you don't need a buffer when you meet bad women and shit. When you know they're cheating on your ass, when you get if you need it. If I say if you even think it's a woman is cheating on yourself, you should break up and shit. If she's not cheating on you, you were too insecure to be in a relationship in the first place. But most of the time, the woman is cheating and shit. They cheat more than men, especially in our community. The women cheat more than men. I can't tell you. I'm 56. Okay, I'll be 57 in April. I can't tell you how many times when I was living in Los Angeles, that I met women that had husbands and boyfriends, and they were giving me the dude's work schedule. They were like, "Hey, when he leave, call me back at this time. He won't be here and shit. He could come over." I'm like, "No, I'm not doing that shit." Many times I was having sex with a woman, they told me their husband was on the way home, and I had to get out. I was like, "Man, what is this shit? I didn't know your bitch ass was married." All right, and I gotta preface everything that I say. All right, everything that I say by letting you know I was non-selective shit. You know what they call a nerd or some shit like that? Fuck off and shit. Bitches doing the most, especially when I was growing up in Chicago. Women were saying shit that it make you feel like you look fucked up or something. Man, she asked my mother if I was messed up looking and shit, and she just said, "Oh, I love you." And I was like, "Yeah, you gave birth to my ass." I have a belief, and I guess you have to say that. And she just kind of had a half smile. It's like I'm non-select, but when I was in my young adult years, this woman wasn't gonna let me get out of the house and shit. I caught her in a direct lie, and enacted a sexual brutalization of me and shit that had me smiling for 10 days. It was just so, it was somebody I had I was madly in love with shit from the moment I saw her and shit. Then when I got with her, it was like, be careful what you wish for and shit. It was like a monkey's paw. It's literally the embodiment of a monkey's paw. Everything that, the person came near was destroyed and laid waste to it, never the same again. And that wasn't just me. Okay, a lot of times with these, I guess they call it Jezebel. When you get out of a relationship, if you still see them around and shit, you see them with other guys, you'll notice if you're rational, you have rational thought and emotional intelligence. If you look at the guy that came after you, you see the same look you had when you was with them and shit. They're stressed out. They're always on edge. They can't rest. They have no peace and shit. And sometimes she has tantric sex with them and shit. And for hours on end and shit to like as dopamine, so she can continue terrorizing and sucking the life out of them and shit. And I actually happened to see that a couple of times after post relationship. After mindset ended in explosive, dramatic fashion that I can't go into right now and shit. I love to tell you, but I can't go into it right now. But I will before I, decide to stop doing whatever I'm doing and shit on this platform. So yeah, this guy, he had his window up and everything. He lucky she didn't break the window. Okay, I done had women I done caught women kicking my door with a knife and shit, or just doing crazy shit and coming up to my job and looking for my ass and shit. My ex-wife, she used to just pop up and shit, and she always be smiling and shit. But like after a while, like people at my job were telling me that she was around. Not that I was doing anything and shit. I really didn't have time to do shit when I was married. Even if I was like a cheater or something, I never would have time. I was so busy. That job was so toxic and shit. It was like my first girlfriend. It was like my first girlfriend was a dead end job. That's what it would be. I was working there. And I didn't have time to do shit. And then I had a disparaging view of the opposite sex for a minute and shit. You know? And, I don't know how I feel and shit. I'm single now and shit, but like I can't see myself in a relationship because I don't have any tolerance for any kind of bullshit or some woman's issues or their need for validation and shit. I'm not selfish at all, but there's no reciprocity and shit, and therefore there's no reason for me to do any kind of acts of service towards them and shit when they offer nothing but grief and stress and shit. All right, I was always looking for my unicorn. I didn't find my unicorn and shit. Maybe I'll find it before I'm dying, But like I'm getting older and shit. I'm getting older. I don't know what else to tell you and shit. I don't. I guess I didn't have a proper discernment in relationships growing up because my family socially engineered me to fuck up my life and shit, and I made bad decisions and shit. Okay, I've never been in jail or anything like that. And I did the best I could when I was in these relationships to sustain them and shit or nurture them and shit. And I always tried to be a giving and loving person and shit, but I was like giving to the wrong people and shit. Okay, I'm not saying this about anybody that's listening to me. Okay, I'm just telling you my situation is a counter lever to what we see here, whether it's real or not. Okay, And I loved that the guy thought it was funny. Okay, I love that. It took me a long time to get there, but I actually separate from the story I just told. But that I get to a point where my ex had done something like cheated or something, and I thought it was funny, and I began heckling her. I began roasting her ass on the phone when we were on the phone, and she got so angry that she blocked me. And then like hours later, she unblocked me to say more shit, but I didn't care. She could just I was like, hey, I'm right behind you. I just didn't care, and I had a disparaging view. I don't want to be like a lot of times in the black community. You meet these women and they trump all this baggage on your ass and shit about how this nigga didn't do this and blah blah blah. And it's all conjecture and bullshit because they never tell you the fucked up things they did to put the guy in that mindset to behave that way and shit. If they pick the pookie, it's not your deal because their body, their choice and shit. They talk all this shit that we hear, and then they do make the worst decisions and shit. We're not immune to that shit. One of the reasons I'm telling this story is that I made a bad decision, and I was sexually addled and shit. I was with quote unquote Jezebel, with a high pedigree and shit, but low enough at that time that I could survive it. I know she's doing the day and shit, but I hope that everybody that fuck with her got a hat on. Man, sometimes I think about the mistakes I made in relationships when I was coming up and shit, my young adult life and shit. And I get a buffer of shit because I was very sheltered. Sheltered as hell. Almost as if I was raised in a cult and shit. I had two female siblings that were adamant about policing my business and shit. While they made the most horrible decisions on the front and the back end and shit. And I treated them with love and respect. They showed nothing to me. And nor did they come together when I had adversity with these same people and shit. But they would do these things for the most fucked up people in the world and shit. I feel angry about that, and I'm about to start ranting. So, I'll end the video here and shit and tell you guys that I do these videos because I love and care about you. And, I don't know what's going to happen to me. I don't know what my future entails, whether I'm going to be in another relationship, or I'm going to finally get my justice or anything and shit, I got radicalized in 2020. And, I understand, I have enough emotional intelligence to be transparent about it with you. Right? And I love you guys and shit. And I'll give you 3 rules and shit, then I'm out. Number 1, keep your head on a swivel. That's self-explanatory. Number 2, protect your bag because it seems like it's the only thing they want. You're just a utility. You're not a human being and shit. You're dehumanized and shit. That's why they use terms as male and they call you the N-word and shit without fail. Irregardless of their pedigree or their station in life. Alright? Number 3, most importantly, do not make fallen women the stewards of your family, okay? Right? Don't make them the stewards of your family. You don't give them the keys to the kingdom for nothing. Okay? It's better to have an empty house than a house with a Jezebel in it. Okay? Because all she's gonna do is destroy and eat up your resources and shit and fuck up your children and destroy your family. Right? I know. I have no family. My whole family was destroyed. Right? Outside of my decisions or anything like that, my entire bloodline was destroyed by women making bad and selfish decisions and shit that fucked them up and their kids and shit for generations to come. And they didn't care about anything but how they felt about shit or what they wanted, Yeah, what could I do, What could I do? Could I waste my life further and shit, fucking with their ass and shit? No. I decided to sit back in the cut and shit and wait for the opportunity to pull the trigger. Right? Metaphorically speaking, just for YouTube's sake. Right? Do not make fallen women stewards of your family, and especially not the mothers of your children and shit. Okay? That's very important and shit. Police your DNA. Okay? Don't give children to the wrong women. Okay? Because a lot of them, they don't care about those kids. Those kids are weapons and shit. I myself was once told after getting out of basic training in the middle of downtown, it's my turn now and shit to take care of my own fucking kid. After I had went to basic training because we were having a motherfucking kid, because we had a harsh winter of adversity that saw the deletion of my first kid. And we had this kid, and the other person said, it's your turn now, and attempted to walk away and leave the kid. And I told her, okay, see you later. And I told the kid to tell her bye, and the kid said bye. And she came in. But she was so angry, she took off a $400 ring and flung it out of the window. Right? And she knew she was going to get another ring, but it wasn't going to be from me. I never said that shit again. And she never asked. Right? And in prison and shit, she knows enough not to come before me and shit, and she had done a bunch of horrific shit. You know, she has no soul. And I don't really think about her that much and shit. Just lately I had thought about her and shit because it was January and whatnot. And I'm just tired and whatnot. I'm tired of these people and all this bullshit. And I don't want you to be in a place like this in your life. Okay? I don't want you to be in this kind of a place. I want you to find out who you are. You know, whatever it is. I don't care if you ain't shit or you a multi-millionaire, 1%er. But just be happy. Okay? Do not make fallen women, excuse me, the mothers of your children, okay? Because your children really are your future and they're your legacy, okay? Take it from me, okay? I have two boys, and one of them I don't have anything to do with and shit, and I'm okay with that and shit. I'm just a sperm donor and shit, and the reason for that is that his people on that side worked actively to keep me out of his life. They literally worked actively in tandem with people in my family, up to and including my mother, to keep me out of that kid's life and fuck that shit up. Okay? And so what relationship could I actually have with the kid? I'm going to put a video out around Father's Day that explains this. And I'll leave it at that and shit, okay? Because I do love and care for you. That's why we tell you SYSBM equals save yourself, black man and shit, okay? All praise to the Most High and shit. You know, you go and live your best life and shit. And I know that I love you enough to tell you these things and shit, and that I want you to be okay. All right? Somebody's got to save us, and we got to save ourselves. All right? Take care, kings.
Bitch, sugar-free and crash dummy. I ain't the smartest motherfucker in the world, but you just another bitch that need gas money. And this is some news you can use. Bitch, a million motherfuckers wanna be in my shoes. Bitch, I'm a legend in these streets. The better kind. How many of y'all niggas know where y'all bitch at right now? Never mind. Believe everything that bitch tell you, huh? Don't lie to splurge. Boyfriend, pimpin', nigga, shit, what is it? Mine or hers? Mobe then. Your average nigga break his neck to go to your house. Have I ever been there? Okay then. What I'ma give a bitch a pass for? Spent all that time in school and got a job that ain't got nothing to do with you with your class for. Here goes some real sugar-free toughener. If the bitch got a gang of play cousins and play brothers, they fucking her. Sugar-free to pee. Look like the game hurt. If the bitch got 2 or 3 phones, she either a hoe or a brain surgeon. How to write the book, motherfucker. I just read what was in the motherfucker.